system audio left on, so you've got a touch of my Gaelic music which I'm making. Seemed to drown out the voice, so I'm going to redo this video. Not much to report yesterday regarding the green screens. It was two sets of competitions I don't like, but I made some decent calls, and if you followed up on them, congratulations. Feyenoord, for example, should have been a play, but I was distracted by a phone call about my mother's welfare. And as that call came in, I was away from the computer and bang, bang, 41-44, we get a 1-2. Don't forget, Feyenoord actually lost the match. But that's trading is all about what happens in play, not the final result. This was really the only screen I can show you yesterday. And I was delighted, to be honest. Panathinaikos and Poulsen. Red card for Poulsen. Panathinaikos, second half, I laid the draw at 3.05. But we weren't seeing any shots on target. Now, it's important for you to double check your shots on target, okay? You've got to. The timing of them. It may look good on paper, 4 shots on, 7 off, 8 corners. But when you haven't had a shot on target second half and your last one was the 45th minute in the first half, there is trouble ahead. Cue up the fact that Panathinaikos are a Greek side and they're not renowned for being goal merchants, getting out at 2.48 without any major damage. I was delighted with. Let's have a look at some of the calls I made yesterday from a gut instinct, and it is an ample gut. Delighted with some of those calls if you followed through. I did give a mention to 1.7 favourites Ferencváros yesterday. And Rangers did take the lead if you were committed to taking on Scottish sides in Europe, and why not, particularly when they're not fancied. That would have been a decent play there. But I was very, very hesitant about this competition. The ones I starred, Midtjylland did score a single goal against Genk. And moving to Stuttgart, absolutely superb. Exactly what you expect of a 1.17 shot. Nottingham Forest, get a tentative look. In play stats-wise, got a great win under Sean Dyche yesterday in Europe. Young Boys did get the goal against 10-man Lille. I was a little hesitant there as well. I wasn't seeing the reaction I wanted to see to lay that draw. Aston Villa nailed this one, didn't I? I told you they'd score 2 goals away from home. They did score the first goal. At 1-1 was your potential angle there for the second goal. Celta Vigo and Bologna, I gave a tentative shout to both teams to score. And bang, bang, off we go. 1-2. And Roma as well. I thought their odds were pretty decent yesterday against Celtic. They are in good form, albeit a lot of 1-0s in SerieA. But this was an emphatic win, and it just proves the point that the SPL is not competitive enough to be competitive enough in Europe. There's just nothing to stretch Celtic and Rangers, is there? They're just going to maintain their dominance in the SPL. Once you get outside of the bubble in Scotland, you get found out. I was bitterly disappointed not to get this to you, as I say. I've got a phone call through. Mimar is safe. Got through the operation fine. Everything went well. And while this was occurring, bang, bang, off we go. I did lay over 1.5 goals at the start here. I hope you spotted the momentum because it went like this. Boom. Really angular momentum. Significant pulling of the trigger. And you saw them losing 4-3. That's trading in essence, isn't it? You don't need to know the final result. Your team doesn't have to win the match. They just have to do what you think they're going to be doing next. That's the key distinction with trading. Freiburg were just absolute pants, weren't they? But there was no real value to be had unless you went for the 2-0, 3-0, any unquoted in the correct score market. And still, that goal, I think, was an own goal. So they are awful. Panathinaikos we got out of, thankfully, that red-carded match. No shots on target second half. I think only 2 or only 1 registered at Soccer 24. In the Conference League, Adel Alkmaar did a job. You can see the starred side, Aberdeen losing to a top 4, top 5 Strasbourg in the French League. That's what I was expecting. We did get Aberdeen to score first, but the goal didn't stand. And Crystal Palace, job done for them as well. So I'm going to be moving through this video. I've already done a 20-minute, but it's got all my Gaelic music in the background, so it might spoil it for you. So let's have a look onto today. So today's trading angles, well, what can I say? It's a Friday coupon, but there may be some hope. Let's have a look at the eye catchers. So I can whiz through this because I've already done it. West Brom and Sheffield United. West Brom on a run of win, draw, win, draw, win, draw, win at home. That's why it's 2.3 the favourite. Sheffield United under Chris Wilder. 2 consecutive away matches scoring 3 goals. All of their wins recently under Chris Wilder have seen them score a minimum of 3 goals. That's why the market can't discount these two. West Brom do their best work at home. Sheffield United under Wilder, superb, can't be discounted. West Brom are meeting 17th in Sheffield United, and they are unbeaten against 17th and lower, or 16th and lower. Difficult match to unpack, but the Sheffield United goal threat is quite clear, isn't it? Angers and Nantes, 3 wins to 0 for Angers recently, 2 of them 1-0. Could cap Nantes at a single goal. Both of these two have met the league leader, Lens, and both lost 1-2 recently. So they are quite similar in that regard. But for me, I would be looking tentatively at Angers keeping Nantes at bay. If Nantes score first, they might not follow up with a second. French Ligue 2, Pau would stand out for me. If you look at the standings, a win today for Pau could ensconce them in the top 4. And they get rid of the playoffs, go straight to the semi-final or the final. So I know it's early on in the season, but if you can get yourself up there now and take these 3 points when you're expected to take these 3 points with home advantage, you could see a decent performance from Pau. Plenty of motivation. The carrot is clearly there, isn't it? Union Berlin and Leipzig, 2 consecutive defeats for Union Berlin. One of them at odds on against Heidenheim. Awful. They scored first. Heidenheim are pants. And that was poor form. Leipzig kept 4 clean sheets away from home, but they are struggling for that second goal consistently enough. At home, they would be banker material. Away, you're concerned them not following up with a second goal. But for me, they look value, just as Roma looked value at 2.3 yesterday. I could see a positive performance from Leipzig today. Lecce and Pisa. Well, Pisa are on a run of 3 consecutive away 2-2 scorelines, and with Lecce scoring 2 goals in a win against Torino in the last home match, this sets you up nicely for a potential goal fest. But do remember, these are bottom 4 sides. This is a derby-style match. 2.5 the favourite. Everything is wrong about this match. But I would enter it with a 2-2 scoreline to start off with as a trading angle. Covers the first team to score, covers the second team to score as well. Palermo are in a similar position to Pau. If Palermo can just get a win today, you can see how important that will be for them potentially in the future. 26 plus 3, you're up to 29, and you're all in the semi-finals rather than the playoffs to get to the semi-finals. I know it's early on in the season, but this is a vitally important match for Palermo to look to win. The Dutch Eredivisie, normally a goal fest. I would recommend, if you fancied it, over 2.5 goals and both teams to score. Looking at the Scottish Championship, if St Johnstone or Partick are playing, St Johnstone are playing, newly relegated, so that might get some attention at 7:45. Real Sociedad and Girona. Problem with Girona, no win away, struggling to score that second goal away as well. A 2-3 and a 3-2 recently for Real Sociedad is a little troubling, but they do have that goal habit. 5 goals in the last 2 matches, albeit 5 conceded, or 5 conceded as well. So watch out. I think Girona, though, do lack that bite away from home. I would favour Sociedad here myself. And let's have a look at some of the XG analysis today. The only negative with this expected goals analysis is that it's not home for the home side, away for the away side. But you can quite clearly see Girona's problems, can't you? Expected goals against edging towards giving their opponent enough for 2 goals a game. So you would expect Sociedad to score at least 1 comfortably and maybe push on or have trouble getting that second with the comfort that they could get that first. 1.59. There is a bit of a threat season long with home and away form, but away they haven't had a win yet. So this is more, I think, buoyed by the home form. You can quite clearly see the Achilles heel for Girona today. Despite scoring 2 goals against Torino latest, Lecce 0.76 is awful. Anything under 1 for expected goals for is struggling to just cross that line and get that first goal and push on for that second. Might have a chance if we looked at Pisa's away XG rather than XG overall. You would see that 1.03 far more robust. Both sides are giving teams enough rope to score at least a goal comfortably, maybe push on and get that second if those teams have good expected goals themselves. But I think I'll stick with the 2-2 in this one, given Pisa's 3 consecutive away 2-2 scorelines and the fact Lecce have scored 2 goals for the first time in a long time in a win against Torino at home last match. Again, season long, this 1.96 for Leipzig is buoyed more by their home performances than their away performances, but it does show you the threat that they have. 1.96 expected goals on average, edging towards that 2 goal a game marker. And with Union Berlin nearing 1.5, they're giving sides enough to score a goal comfortably and the possibility of getting that second as well. They do lack that bite up front as well. So if they do score first today, I think Union Berlin could be layable. And finally, West Brom and Sheffield United, you can see clearly they're just edging over 1.11 for their expected goals for. Sheffield United would be a lot more robust if it was just expected goals under Chris Wilder. That would be edging towards 2. So I think Sheffield United really have the goal threat today, but the market cannot discount West Brom because they are unbeaten in recent matches, albeit win sequences. 1.75 is a season-long stat for Sheffield United, far more improved under Chris Wilder, particularly with that 3-goal habit as well. So an interesting match. The market, though, 2.3 in West Brom's favour because of that unbeaten home form. So apologies for that Gaelic music early on. I kept the system audio on. Heading towards the weekend, it's my mum's birthday tomorrow and she just had a hip operation. So if there is anything organised, I'm afraid I'm going to have to step away from the live stream. But ordinarily, you get a live stream at 2:30 p.m. And I hope you'll join me if I do have one. Do make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, please. If you haven't subscribed already, it is vitally important that you subscribe. It helps the algorithm. Please leave your comments below today, particularly in regards to over 2.5 goals. Do you want me to focus on over 2.5 goals rather than using it as a hedging facility, which I do presently? Do you want an actual strategy or 2, ways to pick over 2.5 goal teams, etc.? Let me know in the comments. It's not something I like to trade, 2.5 goals. It's edging towards gambling, isn't it? What we do as traders, we're looking for the next odds movement. We're anticipating a future odds movement. With over 2.5 goals, you're hoping that they'll get the goal. So I prefer reactive trading, but there are angles to be had for 2.5 goals. So do please leave your comments below if you want 2.5 goal strategy, or you want me to show you some websites which will help you decide on matches where 2.5 goals could occur, and indeed how to trade successfully. For me, delaying is the key. I'd like to wait 20 minutes at 0-0 and then perhaps get involved at better odds. Have a great day today. Sorry to inflict the Gaelic upon you. It's part of my project for the Irish Arts Council, trying to get a grant for my music, which would be wonderful if that occurs. Gaelic music's just so emotive, the vocal. If you can get a female vocal as well, it's beautiful, beautiful stuff. I don't know what the bleep they're saying. It could be a lot of rude words, but it's not. I've done an English language version as well. The song you were hearing was based on James Joyce's views on Ireland at this current moment, called The Turning of the Tide. Have a great day today. Probably not going to hear from me this evening. It's my day off. Got to visit my mum later on and I hope she's well. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow, I hope, for a live stream, but I will update you if there are any issues with not attending. Just on a unique day where she's had a new hip and it's her 86th birthday. As you know, these moments, if they're missed, are gone forever. And she's not going to be, she's nearer to passing away than she is to being born, if you understand what I'm saying. And for me, being in Thailand, it's vitally important that I utilize these moments, make sure we remember them. She has a great time. So you will excuse me if I don't do a live stream, but if all is well, if we're not allowed visitors, for example, or if she makes her way home, by all means, I'll do a 2:30 live stream. Have a great day today. Apologies for the Gaelic earlier on. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment. Have a great day.